Everyone who had come up to listen to the Sermon on the Mount thought they knew what Jesus was about to say when he told them that he was the fulfillment of the law, that he hadn't come to abolish the law, but instead had come to fulfill it. And everybody thought they knew what he meant when he said that their righteousness would have to exceed that of the Pharisees. And everybody thought they knew what Jesus would say when he said that they needed to become perfect just as their heavenly Father is perfect. But Jesus flips their expectations upside down with a simple statement. He says to them over and over again, "You've heard it said, but I say to you." I mean, all of us get stuck in this kind of thinking, don't we? That being a Christian is do, and don't. If we're really being honest, we tend to read more into the don'ts than we do into the do's. I mean, being a Christian for a lot of us is just a lot of rules. It's just a lot of behavior modification. It's just a lot of abide by what's written. But remember what we said, the Sermon on the Mount isn't just about knowing the word. The Sermon on the Mount is about listening to his voice. And Jesus is saying it's more than behavior modification. Living with me, being in relationship with me, following my kingdom way is going to be a heart reorientation. In fact, I would go as far as to say that grace sets a higher standard by making a deeper impact. An experience of Jesus reorients our hearts and it transforms our behaviors. I mean, simple things that are here, big rules, 10 commandment type stuff. Things like don't murder. Don't murder in the heart of Jesus is more about overcoming anger than it is going out and inflicting harm to someone. I mean, things like don't commit adultery or don't get divorced. Those are things that are much more about loving with purity and being fully devoted to your spouse. Things like don't take oaths or don't overpromise. They become understand your limitations and know that you don't have control over everything. Things like don't retaliate when you're harmed or when you're hurt become opportunities for us to extend grace, to take the love that we're receiving and to show that love into those who would least likely expect it. You see, Jesus isn't interested in calling these people up the mountain so that he can form an army of minions. I mean, I think a lot of us, when we get into that do and don't mentality, we think that all God is really about is commanding this army of kind of go with the flow, do what you're told, don't even think. It becomes an army of minions. And that's really not at all what Jesus is about. When he calls these people up the mountain, as he speaks to you and I today, he's building a family whose fellowship with one another is capable of restoring the whole world. I mean, you've heard it said, I know you've heard it said, behave like a Christian. But Jesus says to us, believe in the beauty that I'm creating, and let's turn this world upside down. The deeper the impact of grace, the higher the standards that we set.